All right, man. I'm gonna do a more official prediction at a later time, probably next in the next week and a half, so I can assess a little more because I miss a couple shows. So I'm gonna try and get it right. I'm gonna try and predict who's winning this Royal Rumble. And if I'm given just until the last week, I'll probably know, right? I'll probably know, maybe, right? Check it out, all right? Obviously, like for example, last year I was wrong. I said I thought Reigns would win. It all revolved around Reigns. The whole fucking Royal Rumble, it revolved around him, right? And he ended up losing the title there. Triple H won the Royal Rumble, and the process won the WWE Championship. Right now, okay, fair enough. I figured he would come back at the Royal Rumble. I didn't think they would make him win though, right? And then they had, but before that, man, it was predictable, right? It just was. You knew who was going to win. Like we knew Reigns was going to win and go face Brock Lesnar at Mania, right? We knew that the year before that. Okay, we knew. We just knew. We've always kind of known who was winning the Rumble and who was heading to WrestleMania. Okay, we always knew, right? We knew Batista was going to win it when he won it. We knew Cena was going to win it because he was going to face The Rock. Very predictable. Just this Royal Rumble though, not as predictable, right? The Royal Rumble is on the 29th of January, right? And we already have some plausible winners of the Rumble, which is good. All right. Now, before I go to who I think is going to win it, you have to the 29th. All right. Look at all the pointless. Listen to me. Look at all the pointless matches on Raw and SmackDown. Pointless matches, beefs in the back, so they have an impromptu match and just stupid shit like that. Why don't you have qualifiers for the Rumble? You have two rosters, right? Decide how many slots are open for SmackDown. Let's say you're going to give 10 to SmackDown and or like, I don't know, something like that, and 20 to Raw because Raw is a bigger roster or whatever. I don't know. But whatever, or 15 to 15. Decide how many you're going to do, okay? And then have both brands decide how they're going to get how they're going to, get certain wrestlers in the Royal Rumble, right? I don't like the fact, personally, that, all right, that they're not doing qualifying matches, right? Everybody's just raising their hand. I'm in the Rumble. Me, I'm in the Rumble. I'm in the Rumble. I'm in the Rumble. Me in the Rumble. Okay, I'm entering the Rumble. Any wrestler can just come out and say they're in the Rumble, right? Seth Rollins announced he's in the Rumble, and The Miz announced, and Ambrose announced it. I'm just like, look, man, right? With like Lesnar and Goldberg, I get it. They're part timers, and if they announce it, it's big news. Okay, I get it. All right. You could always have a storyline that it's in their contract, whatever. But everybody else, there has to be qualifiers, man. Right? You have to have at least 10 qualifiers for Raw to guarantee yourself a spot on the Royal Rumble. And then 10 on SmackDown. This is what I would do. 10 qualifiers on Raw, 10 qualifiers on SmackDown, okay? To guarantee a spot. That's 20 spots right there, right? And then you have The Undertaker, Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, okay? And let's say 2 surprise entrants. That's 25, okay? And then you say whoever didn't get a qualifier, we're going to go ahead and it's just going to be, we're going to have a raffle or whatever. I don't know. Okay? Just have them pick out a name on something and then whoever makes it that way or something like that. They can get creative with it, but they're not doing qualifiers for it. It's insane. It's crazy. You could have a whole tournament on NXT right now, and the winner of the NXT tournament makes it to the Royal Rumble. Are they doing that? Absolutely not, because they're stupid. Okay. Who's going to win the Rumble, though? Who's going to win this Royal Rumble? As I mentioned, I don't like the way they're just having guys throw their names in the hat, but this is interesting. All right. Now, if it was up to me, John Cena would be better fit on the Royal Rumble. All right. I wouldn't have him win it, but a lot of people would be wondering, are they going to have Cena win again? Right. So I would have Cena in the Royal Rumble to make shit interesting. And I would have had to make shit interesting. Right. I would have instead worked a match with Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. Right. I would have had their friendship fall apart and then they have a match at the Royal Rumble. Right. Because a Roman Reigns in the Royal Rumble is more believable to possibly win than a Chris Jericho. And that's sad, but that's the truth. And that would have been an interesting matchup. It would have been a better match, too. Chris Jericho's going to go away for a while. So it's a good opportunity. And it could have Owens go to WrestleMania as champion. I could believe he should be going. Furthermore, for SmackDown, I would have had AJ Styles. That was a tough one because the SmackDown roster is kind of thin. But he could have found a better matchup for him at the Royal Rumble than John Cena. All right? But I digress. But it is what it is. We can't change the way they did it, right? Now, the way I'm going to predict who's winning this Rumble, right, is by looking at the two main event matches. So I'm looking at AJ Styles versus John Cena. And I'm looking at Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns. And I can almost guarantee you that Cena's going to win his match. Reigns is a good possibility because Vince has a hard-on for him. But I don't know if they're actually going to go with Reigns. I just don't know that, right? I'm not too sure. Now, they got the U.S. title off of him, which is a bad sign. But holy shit, are you going to piss off a lot of people if Roman Reigns and Cena both win their title matches heading into the Royal Rumble, right? Now, if you're going to have both of them win, who wins the Royal Rumble? I don't know. Let's see. Let's look at the names. My early pick, as of right now, my early prediction, and I just have a feeling about this, okay? I have a feeling that they're going to go, I think they're going to go with Sami Zayn. I know, very underwhelming. Like, what? Yeah, Sami Zayn. All right. He's a possibility. And the reason I'm saying that is because they're building up, the way they're building up the Sami Zayn character right now, it's very similar to like the Daniel Bryan character a couple years ago. All right. It's been a while since the WWE has had someone win their first world title at a WrestleMania, right? After winning the Royal Rumble. Kind of like, that boyhood dream story they used to do a lot. They did it with Shawn Michaels. That was a big one. And it seems to me that they're stacking up this Royal Rumble. And I don't think they're going to go with any of the obvious choices, right? So right now people are looking at The Undertaker and saying, well, The Undertaker could win it. And it makes sense, right? Because if The Undertaker wins, then you can do Undertaker versus Cena for the title at WrestleMania. It's not a good match, but you know, it's a marquee matchup, a marquee names. You could do The Undertaker versus Reigns, I guess, right? And either one of them, you could do title versus career, and that would, you know, that would sell tickets. That would sell, you know, well, they don't sell pay per view anymore, but it would get buys on the network. You know what I mean? Let's look at it. Let's look at this here, right? And then you have other names. You have Goldberg, you have Lesnar, you got, you know, Seth Rollins in it, Dean Ambrose in it, right? The Miz, Chris Jericho, all these big names. The Miz is not going to win it. I know I've seen people say The Miz, like The Miz ain't going to win it, right? Okay, they're not going to do Miz versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania, okay? And they're not going to do The Miz versus John Cena at WrestleMania ever again after that one of the worst WrestleManias of all time, right? So forget about that, right? And you know, I don't think Dean Ambrose is going to win. That was an experiment that didn't go very well for them. They'll give him a push eventually, but I think they're going to have him hold on to the Intercontinental title for a while. Goldberg could win. Hell, if it's in this contract, okay, we don't know. For all we know, Goldberg signed a contract saying, all right, I'll sign for a couple more matches, but I'm winning the Royal Rumble and I'm headlining WrestleMania. We don't know that, okay? What if he just signed that contract and all this is for nothing? We don't know, right? Reverse psychology, they get you sometimes in wrestling, right? Because look, what is everybody thinking right now? They're not going to have Goldberg win it. They're going to do Goldberg Lesnar at WrestleMania, all right? That's what everybody's saying. What if they don't go that route? What if they legitimately have Goldberg win the whole fucking thing? It could happen. They may throw a curveball and a reverse psychology on us and catch us with that. Because think about it. Someone's going to have to toss Goldberg over the top rope, right? Yes, I know it's kayfabe, guys. But what I'm saying is he's going to have to agree to be tossed over the top rope by somebody. Now, that could be Lesnar, and that could lead to another match at WrestleMania, right? But what if Lesnar's on his way out? What if Lesnar doesn't even want to be in wrestling anymore? He just wants to go back to UFC or something, and you know, after WrestleMania, he's going to call it a day. Do you really want to have another Lesnar match at Mania where it's a send-off match? Everybody knows he's on his way out again. I don't. So it's possible. What about Lesnar? What if it's Lesnar Goldberg, the last two standing at the end, and Lesnar eliminates Goldberg and it gives him some redemption for Goldberg defeated him, right? And they can always do Goldberg, okay, versus Lesnar at Fastlane. In fact, it's been a long time since they've done this, but it happened with Bret Hart and the British Bulldog, where they both eliminated each other and their feet hit the floor at the same time, right? Everybody remember that? No, was it him? No, it wasn't the British Bulldog. It was Lex Luger, right? And they both got a title shot at Mania. It was like weird, right? Now, I'm not saying give both guys a title shot at Mania. What I'm saying is, from what I understand, Goldberg is going to be at Fastlane, which is a terrible pay-per-view name, by the way. Oh, it's a Fastlane to WrestleMania. Like, get the fuck out of here, right? It's just dumb. But anyway, you never know. What if they have Lesnar and Goldberg eliminate each other? They're the last two. They eliminate each other at the same time, right? And then they both have to have a match on Fastlane to determine the number one contender going to WrestleMania. That is a possibility, all right? That's possible. They may have a Raw guy and a SmackDown guy eliminate each other at the same time, and then they just decide, well, I guess they'll each get their title shot for their respective brand. That can happen too. It's just an idea. I hope they don't do that. I want to see one winner, but I'm just saying. Throwing that out there. I'm just throwing it out. I'm just throwing out these ideas, right? Personally, this is what I would do, right? I would have Sami Zayn win it. I would purposely have Strowman and Sami Zayn beat the last two. or even Sami Zayn against either Lesnar or Goldberg, if they're cool enough to do the job. All right, because that would the Alamo Dome. What you want at the Royal Rumble, you want the Alamo Dome, okay, to fucking go crazy. Okay, you want it to go bananas. Okay, you want it to go. You want, okay, pandemonium is what you want. When Triple H won it, it was like, like really, Triple H? Are you kidding me? The dude's like 50 years old. Like, what the hell, right? When Roman Reigns won it, even with The Rock out there, they were booing him. How do you stand next to The Rock and get booed, right? All right, when Batista won it, people booed. All right, when John Cena won it, people booed. People didn't care. Like when Alberto Del Rio won it, nobody cared. Right? It's been a while since they've done that amazing finish. Okay, it's been a while. It's been a while. Right? So who's going to give you that spectacular finish? Like when he does a final elimination, it makes everybody go, "Holy shit! He actually did it!" Right? I think the biggest pop that they can get is if Sami Zayn wins it. Right? Some will say, "Well, what about Finn Balor?" Well, one, I don't even know. Is Finn Balor going to be around by then? I don't know. If Finn Balor comes back, this is why I'm going to do my week prior prediction, because we're going to learn more, right? I believe that the storyline, it's very rare, and you got to watch it in wrestling sometimes, especially in the WWE. When they have a slow progressing storyline, right? And they're actually following it through, there's like continuity with it. Usually, they're looking, and it's like close to WrestleMania season. Usually, they're working towards something for the Rumble, right? It's or not just the Rumble, but it's WrestleMania. They're working for something big. And with Sami Zayn, it's one of the few storylines right now in the WWE that has been moving progressively, but very slowly. Like they're holding on to something. With the whole Mick Foley thing, trying to get the fire out of him and the real Sami Zayn and this, that, and the third, and protecting him from Strowman to piss him off and get the fire lit up on him and stuff like that. Okay, all that to me is leading up to a moment at the Royal Rumble, okay, where they're gonna put over Strowman. Okay, you guys you're gonna think I'm fucking Nostradamus with this shit. Okay. I know. People are saying, well, but they showed Strowman and watching the Undertaker give a speech. Yeah, look, people think the Undertaker's going to win. They're going to have Strowman eliminate the Undertaker because, get this, they're going to have Strowman versus the Undertaker at WrestleMania. All right, and no, yeah, the match is going to suck, but that's what they're going to give you. They're going to have that moment where he eliminates the Undertaker. And people are going to think to themselves, holy shit, he's going to win the Rumble. And then Sami Zayn is going to eliminate Strowman at the very end. Right? And the place is going to go fucking crazy. Okay? It's going to go fucking nuts. And if Kevin Owens wins his match against Roman Reigns, mark my words, although I still reserve I still reserve the right to change my mind the week prior. Mark my words, Sami Zayn's gonna win. Mark my words. Right? If Kevin Owens wins his match, Sami Zayn is winning the Royal Rumble. Period. Right? And if they're gonna allow the winner of the Rumble to decide which brand's title they're gonna face, Sami Zayn still makes sense because you could still do Zayn versus AJ Styles if AJ Styles wins, right? You could still do that, right? And what about Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns or Cena? Well, first of all, I don't want to see that, but it could still sell. not as well, but they could still pull it off. They can still do it, right? I know everybody's like Sami Zayn, like what? Like I'm telling you right now, right? It's all smoke and mirrors, man. Like everything they put in front of you, like, oh yeah, they're making it obvious that this guy's gonna win, or there's times when it's obvious and you know it, right? For example, Royal Rumble, okay, a couple years ago when The Rock came back, worst mistake the WWE did was have The Rock come back, right, and face CM Punk for the WWE title. Worst mistake ever. Because everybody knew The Rock was going to win. Everybody knew it. Because they already knew a year in advance that The Rock was going to come back and face Cena at WrestleMania. Right? Everybody knew that. So of course you knew, oh yeah, he's going to win. Everybody knew it. So everybody knew Cena was going to win the Rumble. Everybody knew it. It was the most predictable Rumble of all time. Okay? It just was. This one's not as predictable. Okay, but it reminds me a lot of, and I know people don't like this name. Okay, people don't like this name being said around wrestling circles, but I'm going to say it, right? What he did was terrible, but I'm just mentioning it to kind of bring up the way they kind of played it off. But before WrestleMania 20, the Chris Benoit storyline, they worked on it for like 2 months. They slowly progressed it. Now with him, they had the whole, he was the number one entrant, this, that, and the third, but he ultimately won the Rumble. All right. When you had names like Goldberg in the Rumble, you had, I think, Shawn Michaels in the Rumble. You had a lot of people thought Shawn Michaels might win to face Triple H at Mania and stuff like that. So a lot of names were there. And, I think Kurt Angle was in that Rumble. I mean, they had some big names there. I think Kurt Angle was really being talked about being a winner that year. So it's out there now. Surprise entrance. Okay, right now my official pick is Sami Zayn, but don't rule out they could do the switcheroo and go with Goldberg. Okay, they may very well just go with the Undertaker, right? They might go with Finn Balor, and a long shot, but they might go with Chris Jericho. They might just give Jericho this Royal Rumble win, because when you think about it, I mean, this dude never wins anything, okay? Chris Jericho has given so much to the business, right? He's the most entertaining wrestler right now on Raw, that's for sure. But he never wins the Money in the Bank matches. He never wins the Royal Rumble matches. He never wins the Elimination Chamber matches. He never wins anything. So they can go with Jericho. It just doesn't make, I don't know. Could you do Jericho versus Owens, right? Like if Jericho wins the Royal Rumble, would that make a very interesting storyline going into WrestleMania against his quote-unquote best friend, Kevin Owens? Could it make an interesting storyline? Sure. Are they going to go that route? I don't think so. Right? I just don't. But that's an off chance. Some people are saying, look, Samoa Joe might make his debut at the Rumble, right? I don't think he's going to win it, though. They're going to have a guy come out of NXT and win the Rumble, right? If they did, I would welcome it. If Samoa Joe comes in and wins a Rumble, that would be crazy. I'd pop for it. But I don't know if they have enough trust yet in having Samoa Joe win it in front of a Alamo Dome, okay? Because they don't know for sure how the crowd is going to react. Right? They just don't know. I mean, it's not like they give a fuck anyway. I mean, they had fucking Roman Reigns win it 2 years ago. They had fucking Triple H win it 2 years ago. Now, so someone told me Triple H will come back and win it again. Come on. If they did that, I quit. I'm done. Right? If Triple H comes back, I think Triple H is going to, he might be the one that cost, Roman Reigns the match. at the Royal Rumble to have Kevin Owens win, right? But I don't know. We'll see, right? I don't know. I like the Sami Zayn prediction though. I do. It's like a dark horse. You know, they're working that storyline. You know, they're sneaking it up on everybody. You know, like they want everybody to think he's going to go in and be the inspirational story. And this, no, he's going to go in and he's going to win the thing, right? I might change my mind 1 week prior to the Rumble. I might. But right now, I'm going with Sami Zayn, right? I think it would be huge. I do. I think the Alamo Dome will explode, right, if that guy wins, right? Especially if a guy like, I mean, Strowman, I guess this is where I think they're going with it. But if, you know, if a guy like Lesnar or Goldberg, even The Undertaker, right, puts him over and he eliminates one of them, which you can kind of do it. You know, it's not, he's not defeating them in a match. He's tossing them over. He doesn't even have to toss them over the top rope. They just have to fall over the top rope. There's been creative ways of doing it. If they could just do that, you know, that would be huge. That would be huge, right? And then you go to WrestleMania, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, you let them go. They put on one of the best matches of the year. And boom, right? Yeah, but what if Kurt Angle comes back and he eliminates everybody and he wins? Look, I've been hearing rumors that Kurt Angle's coming back. I think Kurt Angle's going to come back, but I don't know if he's coming back anytime soon. Not the next few months. I think they're going to want him for the video game. I think they're going to want to do that with Kurt Angle, like they did with Sting, like they did with Goldberg. I think they're going to want to put him in the video game, you know, and we might see Kurt Angle come back somewhere around Survivor Series, something like that. Maybe SummerSlam. Maybe we'll see him back by SummerSlam, but I don't think we'll see Kurt Angle come back anytime before WrestleMania. I just don't, right? You know, we'll see. A lot of wrestlers tend to come back after WrestleMania because there's kind of like a lot of people. There's always a spike in viewership for wrestling, you know, right before WrestleMania, and then after WrestleMania, you know, people tend to stop watching wrestling for a while, and that's why you see a lot of returns after WrestleMania, right? I think they'll want to save a Kurt Angle for that. Okay, now a lot of people say Shelton Benjamin's coming back. Could he win it? Look, man, do I want Shelton Benjamin in the Royal Rumble? Hell yeah. Would I welcome him winning it? Yeah, sure. Are they going to have him win it, though? No, they're not going to have Shelton Benjamin win the Royal Rumble. Are you nuts? No, they're going to have him win it. It's been all over the world wrestling for other companies. There's no way. There's no way. They're not going to give it to somebody barely making his debut, all right? I know he wrestled there before, but Shelton Benjamin will be a great asset to the Rumble, right? But he's not going to win it. Samoa Joe, you don't have him win it, but you have him eliminate somebody big, though. You know, if you could have Samoa Joe eliminate Brock Lesnar or Goldberg, that's huge, right? Have Samoa Joe do a big elimination and shock everybody, all right? Finn Balor, what do you do with him? You could definitely do a storyline with him, right? Going back for the title that he never lost, but Finn Balor doesn't need to win the Rumble. He just doesn't, right? Finn Balor you can work a storyline with him after Mania. Like, I never lost a title, I deserve a title shot, something like that. So I don't know if I would go that route, okay? What you do is, this is what you do. You have Finn Balor say, I'm coming back, this, that, and the third. I'm gonna, what is, what is he, Scottish or Irish? I don't know what he is. Okay, I'm gonna win the title. I'm coming back. And then just have Samoa Joe's old rival come, eliminate him. It would be a big moment. Okay, and then they could have a feud. There you go. Right? Have them have a match of Mania or something. That would be big. There's things they could do here. Right? So here are my picks again. I'm gonna do a rundown. Right? Sami Zayn, to me, is gonna win the Rumble. If Sami Zayn doesn't win, right? And look, when I do my video the week before, I'm going to give you every scenario, right? I'm going to tell you, look, if AJ Styles wins this, if Cena wins this, if Roman Reigns wins, these are the possibilities. If Kevin Owens wins, this is the possibilities. I'm going to break all that down for you, right? Sami Zayn, as of right now, makes the most sense, right? I know. He's not a big name, though. He's not a former world champion. People are tired of seeing guys win titles over and over again, right? People want to see that dude win the title for the first time, okay? They want a fresh face, right? And they want somebody that could wrestle, that could work a good match, and that they like, right? That's what people want, right? That's what people want here. Sami Zayn, if Sami Zayn doesn't win, they're going to go Undertaker. If they don't go Undertaker, they're going to go Brock or Goldberg. If they don't go with that, they're going to go Chris Jericho. Finn Balor, you can maybe throw him in there. And to me, that's about it right now. Okay? Somebody's like, oh, Randy Orton. Like, Randy Orton? They're not going to go with Randy Orton. He'll be in the Rumble, but he's not going to win. Okay? They're going to have the Wyatts like do their thing and gang up on some people and make shit interesting. They're going to do that. We might see like a Wyatt Shield moment, although Reigns isn't in the Rumble, but you know what I mean, right? Something like that, but we'll see. All right. I want to see who do I want to see as a surprise entrant, right? Randy Orton gonna win. Randy Orton is not gonna win the Royal Rumble. Okay, get the fuck out of here. All right, Batista will come back. Like, Batista ain't winning shit. Okay, the shit I'm reading online. Okay, Kurt Angle's gonna come back and win. Like, really? Shelton Benjamin, Samoa Joe. Like, what? Now, one of the fun things about the Royal Rumble is the surprise entrance, right? Who's gonna surprise us all, right? Who do I want to see? Like, you always want that one, legend. You need at least one. You could do it too, but you need a legend, man. And you always want the legend to come in like around 4 or 5 when there's around like 2, 3 dudes, like 3 or 4 guys already in there, just to to get the pop and maybe eliminate somebody or just do some damage, And I'm thinking, I'm like, man, who would I be like? Like, who would I go like? Could you imagine? Now, listen to me. Could you imagine? Rock's music plays. Imagine if The Rock comes back and wins the Royal Rumble. Wouldn't that be crazy? That would be crazy. People would still, they would go crazy. They would. All right? People would go crazy. It's not going to happen. Don't worry about it. I know a lot of people are like, no, we can't have The Rock. He's in Hollywood. Like I get it. Fine. Okay? It would just be funny. That's all. The Rock's he's not going to be a surprise entrant, people. Okay? It's just, he's not at that stage of his career. Okay? He's the most popular Hollywood star right now. The highest paid Hollywood star. You think he's going to come in to do a cameo on fucking the Royal Rumble? No. Okay? If The Rock's coming back to the Rumble, he's going to win it. Okay? Just if he's going to come back, he's going to win the title. That's the status The Rock has. He's not going to come in to make people cheer him and then get eliminated by somebody at the Rumble. The Rock's not going to do that. Okay? The Rock. Like, people are like, oh, The Rock's going to come back. Like, he's going to be a surprise entrant. No, he's not. Okay? I heard Stone Cold. Stone Cold could barely walk, man. Okay, the dude has a fucked up neck. Right, doesn't belong in the ring. Edge, Edge could like die with one fucking bump. Right, people talking about Edge. Get the fuck out of here, Edge. I mean, don't get me wrong. It'll be nice, but come on, guys. Right, get the fuck out of here. What legend can they bring back? Now I've heard. Hear me out. He's wanted to get in the Rumble. And to be, I don't know. I don't remember him being in the Rumble, but I know he really wanted to be in the Rumble, right? And he went kayfabe with it and everything. Like, I'm going to Rumble. I'm going to win it too, right? But this guy has turned his life around. I mean, the dude was in his deathbed. There's two of them actually, right? But they were in their deathbed, ready to die. But they've like revived themselves, man. Like they've made up for it. I don't know about Scott Hall. Because Scott Hall, man, is a mess. Okay, and he's not very reliable. But Scott Hall's a mess. So I don't know about Scott Hall, but Jake the Snake Roberts, right? Why don't they allow Jake the Snake Roberts to be in the Royal Rumble, right? I think the crowd will go crazy, right? I think the crowd will pop for Jake the Snake. Have him go in, be like the fourth entrant or something like that, okay? With his four wrestlers in the ring, and then have him maybe, do his thing, and then they could eliminate him like, 4 or 5 minutes later, okay? Whatever. Jake the Snake Roberts, okay? I know a lot of people are like, oh man, that dude, he tossed him over the top rope, he'll have a heart attack. Probably true, I don't know. And that's probably the reason they didn't let him in. I'm not the doctor examining him, okay? So spare me. But it would be nice. If he could pass all tests, Jake the Snake Roberts would be nice. So would Scott Hall. And then Scott Hall. No, you come out as Razor Ramon, right? You come out as Razor Ramon, right? And the place will go crazy. The place would go nuts. Now here's one, and they could do this one, right? Hear me out. Hear me out. Let's say you're not going to have The Undertaker win it, right? So you have him come out number one. Oh shit, The Undertaker's number one. Holy fuck. And then it's only The Undertaker in the ring, which it will make sense. With The Undertaker's fucking entrance, he probably has to be number one or two, right? Because we only got 90 seconds for the next dude. You can't be walking to the ring for 10 minutes, right? You just can't. You can't do that. So what you do is you have The Undertaker in the ring, all right? Listen to me. Not Kamala. Get the fuck out of here, okay? And then the Heartbreak Kids music hits, okay? Holy shit. That would be a moment, right? You are, look, this is a big possibility. This is a huge possibility. Now, I don't think he's going to win it, but there's a but. Okay? He might not even be in the Rumble, but it is in San Antonio. Listen to me. He's in San Antonio. The crowd's going to love it. I know people are like, well, you're The Rock when it come back. Like, the Rock's not, quote unquote, Shawn Michaels is fucking retired, right? You have Shawn Michaels come out, and you start off the Rumble hot. You started with Shawn Michaels, right? And The Undertaker. And both a lot of history between those two guys. The Undertaker is the one that retired him. So that's why you have him come back when The Undertaker's in the ring. Okay? Now, let me say this. I don't know about you guys, but let's say you're Vince McMahon, right? And let's say Shawn Michaels offer, you really want Shawn Michaels to come back for the Rumble or one more match. Come on, Shawn, give me one more match in Mania, right? What if? It's a big if. You guys remember the rumors for AJ Styles versus HBK? Now, there's a very low chance of this happening. He might not even be in the Rumble, period. But if for whatever reason he's a surprise entrant or a late entrant or if he's a 30th entrant, you got to think there's a possibility. I know this is going to sound crazy. I know that Shawn Michaels wins the Royal Rumble, and he goes on to face AJ Styles at WrestleMania. You have to think that's a possibility, but it's not going to happen. Okay, so don't even think about it. Right? Now, I'm not gonna lie. If I was the head writer for the WWE, I would be on Vince and I would be saying, "Hey, man, see what we could do about getting HBK. You know, we just got to. Let's if he could win at the Alamo Dome, and if he can go to WrestleMania, we can promote this AJ Styles HBK thing. Okay, and that main event will be amazing, right? No, but Shawn Michaels is old, and what? Like what fucking Hulk Hogan was barely able to move, right, at WrestleMania 18. And that crowd went fucking crazy when he wrestled The Rock, right? The dude could barely even walk, right? Like The Rock would hit him, right? And it would take, okay, Hulk Hogan 4 seconds to react and sell the punch, right? I mean, his leg drops were horrendous. You know, it was just horrendous. Holding his back when he would fall for the leg drop. Oh, but anyway, it's possible. Come on, you know that sounds good. You know, if you hear this, you say, holy shit, yeah, I could go with that. Hell yeah, because number one, that means AJ Styles wins. Okay? That means AJ Styles wins the match against John Cena. It's number one. Right? And it's the one that makes sense. Right? Now, but why is that the one that makes sense? Because that's a dream match. Right? When Shawn Michaels was, you know, doing his thing, being a big star or whatever, okay, guys like AJ Styles are wrestling in fucking gyms, okay? People have always, it's that type of match that people ask themselves, man, those two would have had a great match. And you can actually do it. It's a dream match. You don't, a dream match like this doesn't fall on the table all the time. It's not like Shawn Michaels went out like with a fuck. I mean, I know he had a history with a bad back, but this would be for one match. And yes, I'm saying he would have to do the job at WrestleMania. Okay. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you have him beat AJ Styles. Maybe you don't know that, do you? Could Shawn Michaels win it? Could it be a surprise? Could they just sneak it in? Could it happen? No, like you didn't think Triple H was going to win it last year, did you? Nobody predicted that. No, nobody like thought about that. Around the 28th, when the 28th dude came out, you were like, well, I guess Roman Reigns is going to win it. And then Triple H came out. Right? And you were like, well, this is interesting. Right? Because Lesnar had already been eliminated. I was waiting for Lesnar to come back and like eliminate a couple people, including Roman Reigns or something. So it makes sense. You see? This is possible. And I've actually just thought about this, talking about surprise entrance. Now, if he doesn't win it, it's okay. Right? It's fine if he doesn't win it. Right? But he should still make an appearance. Right? If he makes, look, man, now that I thought about it, you have Shawn Michaels come in number 30. Even if he's not going to win it, because I'm just saying, because if he's number 30, all right, number one, you know the fans in San Antonio are going to be anticipating to see if Shawn Michaels is going to come out or not, okay? Every single number one, number two, all the way to number 28, like, oh, fuck. This got to be it. And then you purposely wait an extra 10 seconds, and then you play Shawn Michaels' music. The fucking crowd goes crazy. And then you have to think to yourself, what if they're going to have this motherfucker win it? What if he wins it? All right? they're probably going to have him win it. He goes in and boom, boom, whatever, right? And that's that. Okay. Well, that's it. Long shot. I'm still sticking with a Sami Zayn prediction. I still think The Undertaker is far more likely. In fact, Goldberg, Lesnar is far more likely. I even think Chris Jericho is more likely, right? Finn Balor is more likely. But Shawn Michaels is more likely than The Miz or fucking Kurt Angle or But talking about Shawn, oh, he's hurt. Like fucking, you know how many fucking injuries fucking Kurt Angle has, and he's coming back. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. What if? What if? That's it. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, guys, it was great having this discussion here. All right. Well, who do you think is going to win the Royal Rumble? We'll see. I'm gonna be watching this shit. I'm telling you, right now my pick Sami Zayn. That's my early pick, and I kind of give you a rundown. In the coming weeks, right? In the coming weeks, we're gonna start to see things be foreshadowed, and you got to pick out the ones that are traps. Like, they're foreshadowing that, but it's not gonna happen, right? You got to kind of, you got to nitpick here and there. 1 week before the Rumble, after the final SmackDown before the Rumble, I'm gonna know who's gonna win. I guarantee it. Right? I'm gonna come on. I'm gonna say, you know who's gonna win? This guy. Boom. If I think it's Sami Zayn at that point, Sami Zayn's gonna win. Right? Just like that. Well, what's up? Okay. Sami Zayn, bitches, and I'll say it. If I think it's Goldberg, I'm gonna say Goldberg. If I want to go fucking crazy, if I look at something, I say, oh, they're going to go with fucking Shawn Michaels. I'm going to say Shawn Michaels, right? And if they bring Shawn Michaels back, even if it's a surprise appearance, let it be a surprise entrant. Don't announce it on fucking Raw, you fucking idiots. Hey, guys, I'm Shawn Michaels. I'm entering the Rumble. Like, don't do that. Okay, don't do that. Have them come in number 30 at the Alamo Dome. Let the crowd go fucking nuts. You either do it 1 or 2 or you do it 30. That's it. Right? Either you do it at the start or you don't, or at the end, or you don't do it at all. Okay? And that's it. That's right. That's it. Okay? What if it's Sami Zayn and fucking Shawn Michaels, the last 2 in the Rumble? Oh, shit. Who do you have winning? Huh? Eh? Anyway, guys, I'm out of here.